Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is your teacher Nana. I'm back with another session for the class 9. So, how are you everyone? I hope all of you are doing really great at home and welcome to Swiflearn. Swiflearn is India's most sincere learning destination for the classes 1 to 10. Here we are providing 100% live and interactive classes and personalized attention batch with maximum 6 students. So teacher can pay a lot of attention towards his students, and what will happen? An effective learning will take place within the class. So everyone, let's look at our key features such as the Swiflearn provides detailed progress reports and Swiflearn academic test series. That's why you can take unlimited practice tests from Swiflearn throughout this academic year. And we have subjective tests for schools exams as well. And we are also accepting and handling the custom request. So everyone, book your free trial class today itself and enjoy the art of learning with Swiflearn. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you will never miss any important updates from us. So everyone, get ready for today's session, and that is atmospheric pollution part 1. Alright, so these are today's objectives for learning, and the first one is environment. Alright, and the next one is sources of pollution. And the next one is protection of the environment. So these are the 3 things we will cover by today within this topic, and be positive and have fun. Alright, so what is this? This picture? What about this picture? And it's very pleasant because it's our Mother Nature. Alright, all of you are familiar with the word environment, right? Yes. And can you define it? That is the question. Can you define the environment? Yes, you're right. Environment means the surroundings, right? The everything which is surrounded by us. Alright, everything that surrounds us is known as the environment. It includes the river and mountains, the nature, the trees and plants and the hills and everything which is related with the environment. You're right. Look at this picture. It's so white and it's so beautiful. Good job. And look at this picture and observe it. So what came to your mind when you saw the following image? You can see the 2 faces, right? It's like the 2 sides of the similar coin. You can see the 2 scenarios, 2 different situations which has happened within the environment, right? Yes. So you might have heard about the environment. The current era's environment is entirely different from the past, right? You might have heard from your parents and grandparents. So why is it so? What do you think? Yes, it's all because of the pollution. And observe this image, you can see that a lot of pollution which happened within the environment, right? Especially the air pollution. You can see the smokes and everything over here, right? Yes, good job. And so what is within the environment? Environment has all living and non-living things, and that are occurring naturally. But what will happen when it comes to the artificial thing which occurs within the environment? It will make changes, right? It will make changes and it will have the adverse effects within the environment. And the environment encompasses the interaction of all living species, climate, weather, and natural resources that affect human survival and economic activity. So what is meant by the environment pollution? And which is defined as the contamination of the physical and biological components of the earth or the atmosphere system. Imagine your food is contaminated with the fleas and the dust particles and everything. So can you intake it? No, of course not. Even if you will eat it, your body will get sick, right? Because the food is contaminated. So which is the same thing which is happening within the mother nature when the environmental pollution takes place. So we have to be really careful and look at these two pictures. So in this picture, the air is polluted. So it's air pollution, right? Alright. So look at this one. You can see the water is contaminated with the plastic waste and everything. So though it is the water pollution. So this is the water pollution and this is the air pollution. So these are the two types of pollution and we have so many more. Alright, now let's do breathing. Stand up straight or sit up straight and let's inhale through your nose, hold your breath and exhale it through your mouth. One more time, inhale, hold your breath and exhale. Okay. So let's think about what exactly is happening in your body that is allowing you to breathe. What is happening? What do you think? Alright. When you inhale or breathe in, your lungs will fill up with oxygen. Right? Yes. That is passed to your bloodstream. Aside from your lungs, what do you need in order to breathe? What is that? It's the air. If the air is not pure and there is no oxygen, what will happen to your body? You have to think about it. Yes. So now let's talk about the air. Alright. So air is a gas that provides us with oxygen, but oxygen is not only the element in the air. So we are surrounded by the air, right? And within the air, we have the carbon dioxide, oxygen, nitrogen, and so many different kinds of elements. So in fact, it's only about 20% of air is oxygen within the 100%. And while about 78% is nitrogen and less than 1% is the mixture of other gases. So 21% is the oxygen, 78% is the nitrogen, and only 1% is the mixture of other gases within the air. And without air, living things would be unable to survive, right? If we can't breathe, we cannot survive. We will die, right? Obviously. Including plants and animals and human beings. Even the plants need the air, right? Then only it can survive. They need the air for the photosynthesis and for living. Now, so let's look at the natural components of air. As I mentioned earlier, look at the diagram. So oxygen is about 21% and nitrogen is about 78% and argon, carbon dioxide and other gases are about 1% only within the air. I hope it's clear. Yes, all right. Very good focus. Now, let's look at the air pollution. So, as I mentioned earlier, air is mandatory for the living. So, what will happen when the air is polluted? So, the presence of harmful substances in the air leads to pollutions of the air. It can severely affect the health of living organisms and quality of the environment. If the air is polluted, the human beings and living organisms cannot live, right? And the quality of the environment will become very poor. So, let's look at the types of air pollution and the reasons. And look at all these things. All these things are producing air pollutions. So, what are the unwanted substances which pollute the air? Let's look at it. The pollutants means the things which is causing the pollution. So, air pollutants. Air pollutants can come from the natural resources or human activities. So, these are the two chances or sources of air pollutions. One is the natural sources and second one is the human activities. Due to these things, the air pollution is rising within the environment. Alright, so this is the first scenario. So this is the first case, the volcanic eruption. Due to this volcanic eruption, large number of harmful gases and smoke are released. and which can increase background pollution levels for years. So, in our history, so many volcanic eruptions happened or took place, right? Because of those things, people are still suffering because the gases and unwanted smoke which is produced due to this volcanic eruptions stays within the air for so many years. And even in areas far away from the original source. So, it's a worst scenario. Alright, so the next one is a forest fire. So do you remember the recent forest fire which is happened within Australia? A lot of koalas died due to that, right? Yes. So what is the reason behind the forest fire? It can be two. Due to the colliding of the trees, and the next one is due to the human activities, right? So the forest fire emissions are the significant source of carbon dioxide, and not only affecting the interannual variability but also biochemical cycles with consequences for the climate. So due to the forest fire, it adversely affects the climate changes and in the biochemical activities too. So the total weather conditions will change, right? Yes, because it will produce a lot of carbon dioxide within the air. So next one is related with the forest fire, the carbon monoxide released by incomplete combustion and with the atmosphere lifetime of few months. And alright, the next scenario is the ozone, right? Alright. So ozone is one of the most common natural air pollutants. So it will cause the depletion within the ozone layer as well. And now, the other one is the man-made sources of pollution. The transport, roads and rails are producing a lot of, unwanted gases. So vehicles like cars, vans, buses and lorries run over petrol or diesel. When these fuels are burned in the engine, pollutants are given out from the exhaust of the vehicles. You can see the air, right? Exhausted from the car, and which leads to the air pollution. And main pollutants given out by roads are nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide and particulate matter. So these are the three main gases which are produced by the cars and all the travels and vehicles. So nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide and particulate matter, the other things too. And what are the alternative ways for the transportations? Like electric vehicles can be a replacement to protect the environment from these air pollutions due to the vehicles. And CNG vehicles, alright. Now next one is industry and power generation. So this one is entirely different from the previous ones because you can see that, right, the chimney is so tall and which is producing a lot of gases. To generate electricity, fuels such as coal, gas or oil burned at power stations. When these fuels are burned, they release nitrogen oxides, sulfur dioxide and particulate matter as well as the greenhouse gases which can cause climate change. So due to the powerhouse and generations and powerhouse plants, these are produced, such as the nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide and particulate matter are produced, and it will cause a climate change. Alright. So these are the number of forms of industrial pollution, and all this production of these greenhouse gases and nitrogen oxide will lead to the industrial pollution. Industrial pollution can also impact air quality and it can enter the soil, causing widespread environmental problems. We have seen so many issues related with this industrial pollution, right? So many people are affected due to the industrial pollution because it's severely affects the quality of the soil, so we cannot cultivate the plants over there. And the air, the water, everything will be polluted. Alright, the next one is the waste. methane is released into the atmosphere when the waste that we throw away decomposes. So methane is the second most important greenhouse gas after carbon dioxide, which means that is also contribute towards the climate change. So all this pollution leads to the climate change. Next one. Oxide of nitrogen as air pollutant. So nitrogen dioxide is a highly reactive gas formed by the emissions from the motor vehicles, industry and flood gas heaters and gas stove tops. The next one, nitrogen oxide contributes to the formation of ground level ozone as well as particulate matter pollution. So NO2, the nitrogen dioxide causing the air pollution, it's a severe one. Alright. So nitrogen dioxide is a respiratory irritant. So it can affect adversely like to the respiratory system. So if you are suffering from asthma or suffering due to asthma, you will get sick due to the inhalation of nitrogen dioxide. So increase susceptibility to the lung infections in the people with the asthma. Increase susceptibility to asthma triggers like pollen and exercise. Worsen symptoms of asthma, more frequent asthma attacks. Airway inflammation in healthy people. So these are the adverse effects of the nitrogen peroxide because it's a respiratory irritant. And oxide of sulfur as air pollutant such as SO2, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is highly reactive gas with a pungent irritating smell. It is formed by fossil fuel combustion at power plants and other industrial facilities. So, the sulfur dioxide produced due to the fossil fuel combustion at the power plants and other industrial organizations, and it contributes the formation of particulate matter pollution. So, SO2 is also as a air pollutant. Alright. So, sulfur dioxide irritates the lining of the nose, throat and lungs and may worsen existing respiratory illness, especially asthma. So, it affects the respiratory illness and our nose and throat and also the lungs. And let's see. Narrowing of the airways leading to wheezing, chest tightness and shortness of the breath. More frequent asthma attacks in people with asthma. It's very dangerous. And exhibition of cardiovascular disease. All these are the side effects of the sulfur dioxide. And carbon monoxide as air pollutant. So the carbon monoxide, CO, is an odorless, colorless gas which forms when the carbon in fuels doesn't completely burn. It is usually generated by the motor vehicles and industry but can also form during bushfires. So bushfire is a first case or first reason, and next one is the motor vehicles and industry. These are the two main causes of the production which is related with the carbon monoxide. And carbon monoxide levels are typically highest during the cold weather. Because of the cold temperature, makes combustion less complete and traps pollutants close to the ground. So we have to be very careful when it comes to the winter. Now, carbon monoxide can cause us severe health effects by reducing the amount of oxygen reaching to the body's organs like heart and the brain and tissues. So we need the oxygen, right, for living. And what is the main adverse effect of carbon monoxide? It will reduce the amount of oxygen. Then it will affect the heart, brain and all the tissues within our body. Flu-like symptoms such as headaches, dizziness, disorientation, nausea and fatigue. Next one, chest pain in people with coronary heart disease. We have to be very careful. And next one, at higher concentration. If we inhale the carbon monoxide, Like in higher concentration, we will have the impaired vision and coordination. We will lose the body coordination and we will feel very dizzy and it will lead into the confusion. Potentially serious health effects on unborn babies when exposed to high levels of carbon monoxide. So we have to be very careful with the carbon monoxide. So look at this one. Have you ever seen a thick fog-like layer in the atmosphere, especially during winters and especially in the early mornings too? Have you ever encountered? Yes, right? And what is this layer and what causes it? The layer is called smog, which is the mixture of fog and the smoke. Okay, so the layer is called the smog and which is the mixture of fog and smoke. Smoke is the problem in the number of cities and continuous to harmful human health. Especially the busy cities which has a lot of transportations, it will produce a lot of harmful air and everything, and the gases, which will lead to the smoke. And it is not good for the human health, it's harmful. It can influence the breathing passages and what else? Yes, you're right. It can inflame the breathing passages, decreasing the lungs' working capacity. And also, it will cause the shortness of the breath and pain, inhaling deeply, wheezing and coughing. So these are the main causes, main impacts or the side effects of the smoke. It can cause eye and nose irritation and it dries out the protective membranes of the nose and the throat and interferes with the body's ability to fight infection, increasing susceptibility to illness. So our body's immunity or immune system will get weak due to the smoke. And now let's see how to protect the environment. What do you think? Air pollution can be reduced by catalytic converters. So do you know what is meant by the catalytic converters? So catalytic converter means it's an exhaust emission control device that reduces toxic gases and pollutants in exhaust gas from the internal combustion engine into less toxic pollutants by catalyzing a redox reaction. So we can put this one within our vehicles and everything, and we can reduce the air pollution. Next one, instead of using too many private transportation methods, we can use public vehicles and bicycles, and let's do the carpooling as well. You can use the solar energy, wind energy, hydropower instead of fossil fuels. We can get the solar energy from the sun and we can utilize it, and we can run our equipments with these wind power and solar energy. And a cleaner fuel CNG is introduced which creates much less pollution. Please take note of it. And the next one is the electric cars. So a lot of electric cars are introduced now, which is really helpful to reduce the air pollution because which generates even less pollutions than CNG. Now let's plant more and more trees and let's help our mother nature. Could you tell how trees help in reducing air pollution? It's very simple, right? The thing is, trees consume carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. So we need oxygen to breathe. And that keep the balance of gases within the atmosphere, and which is really good for us. And do you know, Val Mahotsav is celebrated every year in July where lakhs of trees are planted. And this is the value-based question. A gardener was seen burning dry leaves daily in the garden by the bunch of school kids. The kids went to him and advised not to burn those leaves and told about its ill effects. The question number 1. What ill effects were the kids talking of? And the second question, what do you suggest the gardener to do with the leaves instead of burning? And question number 3, write any 2 values shown by the kids. Let's look at the answers. And the kids talked about the environmental pollution, right? and which results in air global warming. It rises the temperature within the air. And he can bury the leaves instead of burning. That is an alternative way. And awareness towards the love to save our mother planet Earth, imparting of knowledge. So that are the qualities which we can see within the kids. Alright. According to a study, 1 out of 8 deaths in the world is associated with the air pollution. Maybe they are suffering due to asthma and respiratory illness. And it is estimated that the number of deaths because of the air pollution will reach 6 million per year by the year of 2050. But you can do it. You can save the mother nature by reducing the pollution. So what we learned today? We learned about environment and the sources of pollution and how we can protect the environment. So thank you everyone for coming today. I hope you enjoy the session. And if you like the session, please like, comment and share. Thank you everyone. Be safe at home.